I have driven on Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, Postmates, Amazon restaurants when that was still a thing, Amazon Flex, Lime electric scooters, the Coin app, Shipt, and now, finally, for some reason, Instacart. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike. This channel is dedicated to your success in this gig economy, the side hustle. So if you are new here, consider subscribing. And for the best accessories in any of those niches in this gig economy, check out my Amazon storefront, that linked down below. So I just completed my first batch as a Instacart full service shopper, and this is my firsthand review. If you're not familiar with Instacart, it's an on-demand grocery service similar to a Target-owned Shipt. And again, I was a full service shopper. There's actually two ways to shop for Instacart. Number one, again, you're going to be working as a full service shopper. You're going to be an independent contractor, and you're going to go to these grocery stores, shop for customers' orders, and then deliver to the customer. Option number two, you can be an in-store shopper. Now there it's a little bit different. You'll actually be an Instacart employee. Now here, quote, in-store shoppers are Instacart employees who, among other things, shop in stage orders in one store at a time. And for that role, we can see these part-time shoppers work scheduled shifts up to 29 hours per week, and no car is required for this role. But in this video, I'm gonna go over my first-hand experience of my first batch, that's my first shop, and explain how it went, how this whole app works, some problems during that shop, ultimately pay, and a verdict. Quick background, I actually started in this gig economy back in 2015 for a lot of those popular niches with food delivery and rideshare. Now, more recently, in 2019, I actually signed up and shopped for an Instacart competitor, that's Shipt. So I'm coming to you with a little bit of experience in this on-demand grocery service. So let's explain how this works. As an Instacart shopper, you're gonna see available batches, again, AKA shops, in your Instacart app. So there's a lot of things that you should probably consider when looking at accepting a batch. Let's go over a few of those things. So looking at potential orders, I ultimately selected this one from Ralph's. So that's obviously number one, where is the grocery store? What type of grocery store? And then of course, the payout. We can see the expected payout, $10.91. Important to note that does include the customer tip as well. Now we can see in the app here, my current location indicated by the blue dot. Now don't really worry about the commuting time here. I needed to head south anyway. But in general, that is something to consider as well, any commuting miles to these grocery stores. Now, here's a tip that I would consider as far as how to select orders. What I would do, at least for Shipt orders, and it's the same thing here for Instacart, is to try to calculate the pay per item. In this case, based on the gross revenue payout with that expected tip, and then the 15 items that I'll be shopping for, I can expect a per item payout of 73 cents. Now, why does that matter? Well, more items generally means more time. So we want to make sure you're making a good amount per item, because if there's 15 items or 30 items or 40 plus items, that's more and more time for that batch. Now, 73 cents per item, that's decent. That's not super high. If you can get something $1 per item, or ideally, $1.25, $1.50 per item, that's what I would consider high pay. One more thing to consider when you're looking at prospective batches is, again, that grocery store. Not only where is it at, but am I familiar with that grocery store? Because I've had experiences back on the Shipt platform where I would accept shops from grocery stores I've never been to, and I wasn't familiar with their store layout. So when I did the shop, it took a whole lot longer than it should have. So off to the store, let's start our shopping experience. So first step, we're gonna see this, head to store. It's very self-explanatory. We'll click navigate and head to the store. And then you'll get notification for your customer's order and a breakdown of all the items. One thing to note here that I feel is different than the Shipt platform, and that's these priority items. Now on our menu screen, we can see three columns. That's your to-do items, items you haven't pulled yet, items that are in review as far as substitutions, and then done. Those are, of course, items you've already picked. So let's go through our to-do list and start pulling items. So we're just simply gonna do that. You're gonna shop for the item, select the correct item based on that image and description, of course, scan it, and then it's added to that done column. So the shopping experience going pretty smoothly, that is until we ran into a problem. One of the biggest problems when you're actually shopping, that's of course item availability and substitutions. So for this item, the Quilted Northern Ultra Plush, the customer was requesting 6 packages, but this grocery store didn't even carry this type of product. So we can see here they had this blue packaging, the Ultra Soft and Strong, but not the Ultra Plush. And this is the screen that you'll see if you actually scan the incorrect item. And then we can see the prompt here as far as offering a substitute. Suitable replacements make the customer happy unless they've specifically requested a refund. It continues, use your judgment to identify a logical replacement. Take a photo of the shelf showing nearby replacement options, so let's do that. And then we'll message the customer letting them know the grocery store doesn't carry the exact item that they're looking for. Now, what I've always done on the Shipt platform, and I recommend you do the same thing on Instacart, is go ahead and pull that substitute item. Put that substitute in your cart. And then you're just going to continue pulling the rest of the items and then wait for that customer to respond via text. Because generally 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, they actually get back to you, and of course, they're going to approve or deny the substitution. But I feel like at least half of the time, at least this is what I saw on the Shipt platform, is customers won't respond at all and actually call the customer later as prompted in the Instacart app to verify the substitution, but there was no answer. I feel like a lot of your customers may truly want a completely hands-off approach when it comes to these on-demand grocery platforms. So again, as we saw in the app, you may just need to use your best judgment. Because in my experience, when I've made substitutions for a product that's very similar to the requested product or the exact product, just a different brand, I've never really had a customer that said that wasn't the right call. But do make sure you're looking at any notes, because sometimes the customer explicitly puts in they don't want any substitutions. So here's another problem that I encountered during this shift. While shopping for some of the produce, I found the exact type of product, but not the right brand of product. So for example, this one, Nature's Partner Blackberries for a 6-ounce package. But this grocery store only had Berry Fresh blackberries, 6-ounce package. Here, I just made the executive decision because it's the same exact type of product. It's the same blackberries. It's just a different brand. Because we're not switching for organic or anything like that. You can also make note of the price here and make sure there's no crazy price differences here. We can see $2.99 is the expected cost. One thing I did notice that did seem different than the Shipt shopper platform is I was required to call the customer to go over that substitution before I could move forward. Because remember, we texted the customer initially, but we finished picking all the items and then I got this screen. So that's where we called the customer. I didn't get an answer, but I did leave a voicemail, again, just saying, hey, this is Mike with Instacart. Your requested item, so on and so on, wasn't found, and I'm opting for the substitution. So now let's head over to the checkout. So the first thing that we're going to do with a checkout is to present the Instacart app to the cashier. Here they're going to scan 1 or 2 barcodes. The first one being any rewards cards from the customer at that grocery store. And then the second is going to tie that order to the Instacart platform. After that, we're just going to check out as normal and use your Instacart prepaid card that is pre-authorized for the order amount. And if prompted, do run that card as a credit. All set, we're done at the grocery store, so let's make our delivery. Pretty straightforward here. Again, just follow the notes as far as how to deliver to the customer. The delivery was pretty seamless, so let's go over the pay. What I found is it did take about 30 to 40 minutes to see the actual pay populate in my Instacart app. But the pay was pretty straightforward and I did get the full quoted amount. So now the overall verdict after my first Instacart batch. I think it was pretty straightforward. And in fact, I feel like it was actually easier to follow than Shipt. Pulling the items, even the item that was out of stock, the substitution for the produce, it was pretty easy to follow as far as how to resolve that. Now, if you are looking at on-demand grocery services, whether that be Instacart or Shipt, I feel like you will benefit from the safety and the comfort of being indoors, but I do feel like it's going to take more time and a bit more effort than other niches in the gig economy. As far as pay, for a little over $10, it was fair. Now, remember, I had a commute from up north, so let's imagine your grocery store was a lot closer. You're not going to have that much of a commute to start. And then second, also keep in mind, this was my very first batch, my very first shop. as a full service shopper. So just like Shipt, when I got more familiar with those shops, with the app, problem solving, how it all works, I got a lot faster, which can increase your time to get paid out faster. So I feel like just on a preliminary basis, it's a decent option to have. You know, if you want to be inside, if you want to be in that grocery store versus, let's say, a rideshare or food delivery. But I want you to also closely look at the pay per item, and then the time that you're going to invest for that ultimate payout. So let me know down below in the comments. Do you drive for Instacart? Do you drive for Shipt? These on-demand grocery services? And how do you like it? Let us know down below. And if you got value in this video, definitely drop me a like. And you can also click or tap the screen here for my most recent video, as well as a video recommended for you. And I'll see you in the next one.